We talked for years. You can't break them up till they lose in a Western Conference Finals. I got to see this team lose.
Or just in the Western Conference, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and then now you're going to basically make it, easier for someone to beat you because you're one of the most, everyone agrees he's important to their winning and losing. And you're going to make it easier, so you're going to, disqualify yourself from being out there?
Right.
Man, that's like poetry.
It is. Now,
sad poetry.
Sad poetry. Now, Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, they said that Draymond Green spoke to the team. How much did the team listen to Draymond Green? How much did they already move on? Because it is time to move on. You got to figure out a way to keep your season alive. You got on 0-3. This baby could be over on Sunday. It could be nothing but purple at Chase Center. And I do not want to see that visual. I do not want to see this dynasty or this core group together end it like that. So how do you win a basketball game tonight? Who starts for Draymond Green?
Who finishes?
The
final 7 minutes. Who finishes?
But more importantly, when you think about the non-Steph Curry minutes, the Warriors were a -11 in the non-Steph Curry minutes. What flipped game one was the end of the third quarter when the Kings go on a 15-4 run. Curry sits, then go on a 13-4 run.
Yep.
He sits, 86-78. Crowd is dead at Golden One Center. And Trey Lyles hits a couple big threes. They get the 50-50 balls. Clay chucks one up. They have an egregious turnover. And next thing you know, you're going into the fourth quarter down one. And Sacramento's thinking, well, damn, we haven't really played well through three quarters. We've missed a lot of shots. We've forced some shots. Mm-hmm. We've blown some defensive assignments. Damn, we're up 91-90 going into the fourth quarter of game number one. The non-Steph Curry minutes to me tonight are the most important minutes.
I'm with you, but how do you set that up? Jordan Poole's been awful in those non-Curry minutes in the second half, specifically in the second half. And when you don't have Draymond Green out there, because that was one of our solutions was, keep Draymond Green out on the floor. Who's out on the floor?
Right.
Because it feels like when it's Wiggins and Poole, even though I know they have some synergy, it's your turn, my turn.
Right.
It doesn't feel like a cohesive, tough-to-defend offense.
Right.
It feels very isocentric.
It does.
And that plays into their hand, I feel like, defensively.
It does. No doubt it does. But you may have to tweak some things because the Sacramento Kings are blitzing the passing lanes.
Yeah.
When you're running your motion offense, they're all into the jersey of Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry. Credit to them. They're being a physical team. They've been a more physical team. They get credit for that up in Sacramento. They've been the better team through two games. I don't think anybody on this show has said otherwise. We have both admitted when you're plus 30 when it comes to points in the paint, and you're plus 27 when it comes to points off turnovers, and when you're plus 14 when it comes to second chance points, and when you're plus 12 or plus 10 or whatever it is when it comes to fast break points, you have been the better team, especially in the fourth quarter. But the non-Steph Curry minutes, I don't care how you get it done. You just need to somehow, some way, stabilize the basketball game until number 30 is ready to check back in with the stamina, with his energy, and so he could bring this home.
Well, it depends on how the minutes get allocated and whatnot, but it does feel like when you're talking about the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second, end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, they're overlapping Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox's minutes, and it's presenting tremendous problems for that second unit. And so then you go out there and you're like, all right, well, let's go with some defense. Let's put GP2 out there.
Right.
But then they lack a lot of offensive punch and they become easier to defend. Mm-hmm. So they're really in a quandary here.
They are. Well, Jordan Poole, we all know the guys who need to step up. But how did they step up? How did they get easier shots?
Who would you start?
To me, again, whether you start Kuminga, whether you start Poole, you may need
Moody.
to put thinking about it now.
I was thinking about Moody.
Moody's a good choice. It's not a bad choice.
Just because you can get some rebounding, he can knock down a three, give you a little bit of perimeter defense, and he actually gave you a lot of extra opportunities by hustling after the ball.
He did.
This is the thing that if I would have suggested this a week ago, I would have said, Joe, you're insulting your own intelligence.
No, anything's on the table.
Right?
Hell, do you start Jordan Poole to jumpstart him?
Is it Anthony Lamb?
Well, Jordan Poole, you just spoke about him. You need his firepower.
Yeah.
You need his firepower.
I need him feeling good about himself. That's
Absolutely.
Number one.
So
he's a guy that I think the crowd can galvanize him, but because he needs it, B.
Well, listen, Kuminga, this is his time. Because I have heard little murmurs that, hey, he's been moping around a little bit due to the lack of playing time. And I understand. 4 minutes in game number 2. You've had a great end to the season. You've done everything Steve Kerr's asked you to do. simplified your role, played solid defense, shot discernment, not taking the wide open three right away, passing the ball around, and then you get 4 minutes in game number 2 after getting 9 minutes and 45 seconds in game number 1. I get why he's been moping around. But you know what, Jonathan? Now's your time. Now's your time to submit yourself in Warriors lore saying, you know what, I'm going to help extend this season. We're going to get one at Chase Center. So it's just a huge game for him, whether he starts or comes off the bench. Shasky, I do not care.
Am I getting too deep by saying it feels like an audition for next year in that slot?
Well, it is.
Given what's going on with Draymond?
Whether you win or not, this is an audition. This is to show Dub Nation, this is to show the NBA world, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to contribute at a high level. It's like that on the contender. So you got that with Kuminga. You have that with Moses Moody. And to a sense, you have that with Jordan Poole.
I was going to say Jordan Poole I might even put higher than both of them.
So you have that with Jordan Poole to say, hey, I'll belong on the floor in high leverage situations. Because the Sacramento Kings are not going to stop. Mike Brown, congratulations to him. And that's the thing about the whole trash talk thing. And let me just say, I'm not taking any of it personal. I think it's a lot of fun. I love talking trash. If you want to take it personal, that's on you. I'm not taking it personal whatsoever. Well, there are segments of it that I've taken personal. The one where, oh, you guys don't watch. You only watch Warriors basketball. The Sacramento Kings games start at the same time as the Warrior games. How much Warrior basketball are you guys watching? You know what I'm saying? Don't try to play us saying that we don't watch the league. I'm always watching the league because it's been the Warriors league. And I want to see who's the up-and-coming guys who's going to threaten the Warriors. Let's not forget that. It's been the Warriors NBA over the last 8 years, not anybody else's. So, of course, we're paying attention to everybody else to see what moves they're making to try to compete with the Golden State Warriors. That's number one. That's number one. But number two, we've given the Kings their respect. They have a great year for them. Great year. They've got great people. De'Aaron Fox is a great leader and a great person. And, you know, with the NBA trying to make Ja Morant the face of the league, why not De'Aaron Fox? That's the guy I want my kids to look at and say, you know what? De'Aaron Fox is the player I want you to emulate. Not Ja, not the dancing. De'Aaron Fox goes out there and just tries to kill you. He tries to go out there and embarrass you.
Well, and this is where I feel like they've experimented in the second quarter with this at the start of the second quarter, and they've gotten beat both times by Alex Len. I would try some zone tonight. I really would early in the game. Like, especially if you're going to start Jordan Poole and you're going to be at a deficiency defensively. Right. I think you might have to try that. Some sort of a box in one or some sort of element where you're going zone. People can call that janky. I think you got to throw something unique at them. Again, I don't think you can go straight up.
But here's the deal about the whole starting thing.
Their half-court offense is so much more dynamic than I gave it credit for.
It's been legit.
Yeah.
It's been legit.
Especially
Mike Brown, coach of the year. Great person. We've gotten to know Mike Brown. I've interviewed him many times at the Gatehouse. We've interviewed him many times at Chase Center through the years, whether it's Steiny and Guru, it didn't matter. Mike Brown has been a great dude. He was a great ambassador here in the Bay Area, and he's the perfect guy to lead that organization. So I'm happy for them. Kings fans deserve this type of shine. But when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, again, I don't care who starts. Because let's be real. The Warriors have gotten off the better starts in the first quarter. The Kings have been tight in the first quarter. What I fear is the Kings all of a sudden are going to figure out, you know what? We're going to shoot better in the first quarter. We're going to like this,
I would expect their three ball to start dropping because it hasn't.
It hasn't.
It through two games.
Think about the Sacramento Kings in the first quarter. Overall, they've been 4-25 from three-point line in the first quarter. They've gotten off the horrendous starts if you're Sacramento. And so if you're going to say Warriors, the starts haven't been the problem. Again, the problem is when number 30 checks out to the bench, who's going to lead this team on the floor? Who's going to help stabilize the game?
Well, and I mean, let's be honest, too. I think Curry needs to be more effective. He needs to be more efficient. He needs to value the basketball a little more. Like, we need a signature Steph Curry moment. You can't go down without your all-time legend having one of those games.
I don't worry about Curry. He's been there. He's done that. And they're going to continue. They're going to continue to be all over him.
Do I sound like I'm worried about Curry? I meant more like we just need a better version of him.
Yeah, no doubt you need a better version of him. But I'm not worried. Curry's going to bring it. Curry knows what time it is. But how do you jumpstart him when it comes after halftime? Because after halftime, he's been MIA. In that third quarter.
That's a great point.
That third quarter. So far, he's asked 3 field goal attempts total in the third quarter.
Why? Why is that?
Well, because Sacramento's doing a great job of, again, they're pressing. They're doing the smart thing. What Mike Brown is doing and that coach staff is doing to Steph Curry is genius. You pick him up full court. You don't allow the Warriors to get into their offense until there's about 15 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah.
And then once you get there, you pass it around once, and all of a sudden Looney's holding the ball or Draymond Green's holding the ball. And all of a sudden they're not looking to shoot.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's 10 seconds left, and Sacramento's scrapping, fighting off those screens. And all of a sudden you're playing one-on-one basketball. The Warriors had 8 assists in the first half. They had 18 overall. I've seen these guys drop 18 assists in a quarter.
Well, 30 is their benchmark. Like, that's when they know that they're hopping the ball around and they're getting good looks. And the problem is that they've turned the ball over so much that, like, I almost feel like they're overpassing at this point. And obviously they're going to need to make adjustments. Their pick and roll efficiency in the 2 games, although it's a small sample size, has actually been excellent.
So I think they need to start the offense a lot faster. They need to get to the half court.
Your mic's off.
Oh, sorry.
Say what you just said again.
No, I thought that was my shortage in the court,
Yeah.
man. It's been tripping over here. What was I saying? They need to start the offense faster.
Pick and
They
roll.
need to start it quicker. Like, when you're starting your offense against this team that's faster than you, that's younger than you, and you're starting your offense with about 13 seconds left on the shot clock,
I agree.
That's not winning basketball.
Well, and they're in scramble mode, and then what ends up happening is you're forced to take a bad late shot clock shot, or you're forcing a guy who isn't a playmaker to make a play off the dribble. I mean, how many times has Clay had the ball at the top of the key, Looney's had the ball at the top of the key, and then they're forced to initiate offense, and those guys, that's not their skill set.
And the court looks compromised.
Yes.
The court looks compromised when they're in the half court. How many times I've seen Klay Thompson and Steph Curry kind of in the same vicinity, like, what are you doing? I should be here. No, you should be here. No, you should be out in the corner. It's been compromised, so the spacing has been taken away by the Sacramento Kings.
And I keep coming back to, like, the final 5-6 minutes, who's going to be in that closing lineup? And then if Looney is, okay, let's say, hypothetically, Looney is one of those guys, Looney's got to stay out of foul trouble.
There's no doubt.
I mean, it feels like JMG is good, or maybe it's Anthony Lamb. I don't know, man. They're in a really tough spot. Draymond really put them in a tough spot with this.
Yeah, and I'm moving on from Draymond Green.
But it's part of it.
But Draymond Green's not available tonight.
I know.
Draymond Green's not going to be in that stadium. He let us all down. That's just a fact. Him not being in the series let us all down.
Yeah, well, the one I don't want to hear is Draymond's suspension motivated them to do X, Y, and Z.
No. This has nothing to do with Draymond Green.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
And you know what? If the Warriors win this game, I'll have a question about the starting lineup tomorrow that everybody's avoided. You know what I'm saying?
What's
if
that?
the Warriors somehow win this game and they get up to a blazing start in this game without Draymond Green,
oh boy.
Well, then the conversation about Draymond Green maybe coming off the bench needs to be had. Because when you continue to break the trust of the organization and break the trust of your players, why do you deserve to start? You know what I'm saying? What if Kuminga has a dynamic game starting? Or if it's Jordan Poole? Or if it's you know what I'm saying? So, but that's for them all. You got to figure out a way to win game number 3, and I'm jacked up about that. We're going to break it all down because nobody in the state of California talks sports like this show. I don't care. Well, I don't give a damn what you guys have been hearing, what you guys have been saying. You know what time it is here on the Morning Roast. It's game time, and we ready.